All right, we are finally back. I think it's our sixth episode, first one since probably October. I am your host and last place finisher, BBL Drizzy, joined by the first place finisher, La Cosa Nostra, number one.
Number one. Number one.
How we doing? How you feeling?
Good. Good. If there was you know, Mount Rushmore fantasy owners, some would say it would just be me, one big rock. But that was a reference to Mike Francesa today, but no, just kidding.
Number one.
Number one. Um, to be honest, it doesn't feel like a one seed type of season. Team scrapped it together. Wasn't really good. Don't think the team is really that good. Carried by Lamar essentially, and then weeks spotted here and there. Um, Derek will give you Justin Jefferson didn't score any touchdowns for 2 months, and then he scored against me. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, great. Okay. Well, Derek's been having Saquon Barkley put up 46 points on Monday night to win matchups, so I don't need to hear it from Derek. But yeah, it took Derek down twice this year. Some would say that's the reason why I have the bye. It was an important week 14 for me on my side. Had to get the win with Adam and I think Jagger both winning. If I would have lost, I would have been booted out of the bye. And I think my team severely needs it. So all in all, feels good. To be number one, not confident rolling in the playoffs as I was, the last two seasons, let's say. I was much more confident in those two teams. So maybe this year is something different. Maybe
Well,
not being confident is kind of like a
like a
reverse.
jinx.
It's like a
Yes.
jinx, right? Like being confident going in. I was saying this to Derek. I was saying, your team's great, but you look at my team last year, also great, and then you get a week where everybody lays an egg like last week, and then you're screwed. So you kind of got to just hope that there's a ham and egg situation now where like if Saquon's not great, Jalen Hurts tries to get AJ Brown the ball to prove the reporters wrong that they're fighting. A lot
Trouble in
of
paradise.
dynamics, right? But like, you look at Derek's team. If Hurts and Saquon don't put up 60 points together, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, so
So
Derek's team was a juggernaut this year, 1914 points. That's 234 no, 134 points. Math a little funky there. Actually Adam finished in second with 1780 points. Then you were at third with 1736 points. So Mayfair Mafia. Now he did change his team name, which I think is like a deduction, like minus 50 when you do that in season. But anyway, Mayfair Mafia, formerly known as My Dicker Hurts. Yeah, he really went with the Philly special for his team. And we talked shit about it at the beginning of the year, but that offense has been eaten. Now, like you said, AJ Brown, he changed his avatar, his Avi on Instagram to the Joker.
I did see
So
that. I did see that.
what does that mean? Are we thinking that we may need a bench AJ Brown? We benching Jalen Hurts, Derek? I'd be monitoring AJ Brown's IG profile pic every day if I was UD. But great season. Now Brock Bowers, that may be the pick of the draft. I mean, did he finish at what is he, tight end one? Yep, tight end one. When did
I
he
think
draft?
he is, but is that pick one? Is that the pick of the draft? Right? Like,
Tight end one.
right, but that I think if you're gonna give a pick of the draft, it's Saquon or Derek.
That's true.
Yes, the spread and the later rounds of Brock Bowers is in theory a better pick, but there's also more risk involved, right? Whereas like him picking Saquon, I think in the first round, there's no way he was getting back to him on the swing back. So like him making that move, I think ultimately is a better pick than
Now
Brock
what?
Bowers.
What pick did Derek have?
However, fantastic
However,
pick.
now what pick did
I
Derek
think
have?
Derek had number 9.
I'm looking at it right now. It was the first thing that popped up. Derek had he had
9,
he
right?
had the number 10 pick, number 10 pick,
Who
right
was
ahead
the
of
who had 9?
Corey. picked Garrett Wilson. I remember going into the draft,
Oh, what a bad pick, Corey.
going into the draft, Derek was like, I want Wilson. Derek's a big Jets fan, kind of like myself, although I've disavowed the Jets. Now I'm a Lions Bills fan. Heard it here first. But yes, going into the draft, Derek was wanting Garrett Wilson, but Corey drafted Garrett Wilson. So Derek got stuck with Saquon Barkley. So it's kind of one of those things like, fantasy, some people are like, oh, I got the 10th pick. I'm fucked, blah, blah, blah. But like, are you? Because sometimes it just falls your way and you end up with Saquon, who wasn't going to go in the top six, but he falls to you at 10. Derek maybe wasn't happy about it in that situation. He wanted Wilson, but now he's like got the best team in the league in terms of points scored. So, fantasy is a funny one. And Brock Bowers he drafted him one, two, three, four, five, six, seventh round. So he gets the tight end one in the seventh round. I mean, there were about six or seven other tight ends taken ahead of him. That is pretty solid, I'll say.
Yeah, fantasy guys were with Derek. He would have taken Garrett Wilson if he was there, and it worked out that Corey's dumbass picked him ahead of Saquon. Um, so it just works out.
It did work
Corey, all
out.
love, Corey, all love. Don't get
All,
upset.
don't get pissed, Core. Now,
Although something needs to be said for the ride that Corey was on this year. Started off terribly. Got a lot of slack for not having any running backs. Then then ultimately came out of that stronger with a surplus of running backs. At one point, I was looking at Corey's team thinking, I need a back, and I'm somehow going to Corey's team.
yeah,
Stay the
Corey had a lot of
course.
depth.
You stay the course, and Corey's team ultimately showed their true colors. Sank like a
He had so much. I feel
turd
like
in a toilet bowl. He lost 7 in a row, 7 in a row, something like that.
how many trades did we make, Corey? Because I feel like, yeah, your team is like pretty loaded. Like at one point, I was trying to get Nick Chubb, DeAndre Swift is the guy you probably could have sold a little bit high on. Now you did make the Tyreek Hill trade with me, and Tyreek Hill, to finish the season is going to be the wide receiver. Okay, he finishes wide receiver 13. That's actually surprising. Uh, but I mean, yeah, some of these other guys kind of like, yeah, I mean, Nick Chubb wasn't good. Eckler, Brian Robinson's been hurt. Garrett Wilson, not good at either. And then Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors really carried his team for that middle stretch and then just kind of like shit the bed. Malik Neighbors, wide receiver
Yeah,
10. He
yeah. I
just
mean,
had
he
those
no
outlier
touchdown. I think
games.
since week 3. So was really just a not. I mean, his quarterback situation picked Mahomes on my team after he dropped him. Spent all of his waiver wire budget on Stroud. Didn't work. So look, Corey won, but at the end of the day, bad, bad, bad showing this year that you're gonna have to get your shit together for next year.
If we want to talk about bad showings, we got to address the elephant in the room here.
Your team, it's
Uh,
terrible.
Yeah, so if I had to really give a prognosis on the state of BBL Jersey in this franchise, is that I think BBL Jersey is going to be a one and done. We're not going to carry that over into next year. I think that would be a bad look for ownership. So we're going to have to change that team name there. And yeah, if I look at my roster, James Cook, mid wide receiver, running back 14. I'm getting surprised about where some of these guys are landing, but Drake London, you had the back and forth with me at the beginning saying I should have drafted Devontae Adams. Drake London finished better than Devontae Adams for sure, wide receiver 8. But I mean, all these other guys like Tank Dell, absolutely terrible. Wide receiver 52. I drafted him, I think, in the fourth or fifth. Traded for Olave. This dude has more concussions than Tua, I think. Uh, I mean, there's just and who else got hurt? No one else really got hurt on my team. Jordan Love, I expected more out of this guy. He just throws a lot of picks, and their running game is like really solid. QB 18, and then Dalton Kincaid didn't do what I thought I was going to do in that offense. at tight end 26. Uh, Chuba Hubbard, shout out to him. I think I still won that Corey trade with the running back number 12. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
not great. It's not ideal. 2-12. I think that may be the worst record in gang chat history. I'll have to go look at the book, but that may
Yeah.
be the worst record. Now, I didn't score the least points, technically. Not score the least points. Shout out to Matt. So I think I beat Matt by like 4 points on the points
Yeah.
for. So, yeah, it was 1 point, 1 point. I beat him by 1 point. So I will be, I again, I voluntarily said I'll do the IHOP challenge. I forget what the rules are of it. We didn't set this previous to the draft, but to set a precedent moving forward, that last place has to either go to IHOP or Taco Bell or do some like crazy challenge. I'll do it hand up. I'm a man, Frankie Feta. Uh, but I will say that I think we have to almost make a rule that if you finish last and you also have the least points scored, it's like a double bonus. It's like, damn, like you finished last and you also scored the least amount of points. You should probably like spend 48 hours at IHOP.
I mean, that's a, yeah, that could work. That could work. I mean, that's, mm,
Well,
yeah.
where do you think my team went wrong?
Well, if usually you're a competitor here. So if I coach you up as to where we went wrong, then you're going to have an issue with somebody, that I'm going to have to compete with next year. So, um, I mean, I think you just got away from everything that you've ever preached over the course of your fantasy ownership
Well,
life.
I mean,
You
I try to go high ceiling, but
you picked Tyreek Hill number one, not a bad pick. But what are the chances? Like, if you look back over the course of history, and you could say the same thing with McCaffrey this year, the chances of a player at a position being number one and at that position back to back years almost never happens. Granted, the Tua situation cooked you, but last year you preached to me after me trying to trade Tua to you for 14 weeks that you didn't want him because he's one hit away from, not knowing what planet he's on, and then
that's true.
you put your whole season into him. Then you started trading guys away and picking up guys on teams that aren't on good offenses. Like everything that you ever say you wouldn't want to do, you did this year, and that to me that's just where you went wrong.
I think James Cook was he's that was a
He's
tough
a good
pick.
pick. He's not going
He's
to be great all
fine.
year
He's
long,
mid, but
but like you look at
he was my third pick.
I mean, you can't take a wide receiver that's in a trio of wide receivers that high.
Who do you think?
And you
London?
can no Tank Dell, you just said.
Yeah, yeah, Tank Dell. I
I'm
picked
saying,
him.
like in theory, Diggs is out and Collins is out. There, Collins was out, so he should have been better. But like, it was a risky pick that you didn't really have cover for, and that's kind of the to me that was the big thing.
Yeah, yeah. Now shout out to me for trading away Ayuk to Josh. I don't think we recorded since
That was
then.
a good pick. That was a good that was
Now I got
excuse me, that
Jalen
was a good
Waddle back.
trade.
But Jalen Waddle stinks. Even when Tua's been back, like these wide receivers haven't really been that good. He's been throwing like I don't know more to what's his face, the tight end, and like A Chain's been getting a bunch of targets. And I did want A Chain, but Brian took him right before I did, or I would have been able to take him. And then yeah, there's some other bad picks in there. Ford bad pick. Jalen Warren was hurt, banged up, wasn't the running back one, so. We're gonna have to really do some soul searching next year. My franchise is really trending in the wrong direction. I think I haven't made the playoffs in about 3 years. So, some people are starting to question if I still got it. So we're
Yeah,
really gonna have to
I
do
don't
some soul
know.
searching.
I don't know.
Um, who else? I mean, I guess in terms of teams that didn't make the playoffs, I'm gonna have to shout out now. Devin's been great with the tiers. I mean, they're purely comedy, and also we need a new tiers. We didn't get that this week. I'm curious to see where Juan Soto is going to be. Is he in his own tier? Is he in the Derek tier, Chris tier? Need to see Juan Soto in the Mets jersey, with the updated tiers. Now, Devin,
Some breaking news: Juan Soto will be wearing number 22 for the Mets. He will be wearing number 22 for the Mets. So for whoever said in the chat, not going to name names, that he wasn't going to wear number 22, you're wrong.
I think that was a Yankee fan coping.
Yeah, as they've
Not
been
to
doing all week, is
not
every excuse in the book is he's
not to turn this
overpaid. You don't want him. Kyle
not to turn
Tucker's
this
better. Blah blah blah.
into
You go ahead.
into a
The
Juan
list goes
Soto
on, right? The
podcast.
list goes on. The list goes on. Be like if
Um,
you just we know how it goes. But
we know how it goes. We know how it goes. So I will say Devin, I think this is Devin's third or fourth year in the league, and still has not made the playoffs. That's a tough one. Now he did have a good little run there in the middle of the year. Uh, he kind of maybe showed us something, but just didn't have enough. And he finished, yeah, ninth in points scored. So still not I oh no, 10th in points scored. So not ideal there. Um, so Devin, we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board together. Theta came back a little bit, yeah, a little bit of a run there. Started out, was he 0-4? And went on a little bit of a run too. Made some good moves. I think Devin actually really screwed himself with that trade to Theta. I think he traded him. I think Devin just got Devin, I think Fada was just sending Devin so many like trade requests, and eventually Devin just gave in and he like traded him Josh. How did Fada get Josh Jacobs and A Chain? Somebody explain it to me.
yeah, I don't know. He made a trade to Dev to get Jacobs, and then he traded Ken Walker to Brian for A-Chain. Which like you can look at Ken Walker and A-Chain as kind of a similar type of running backs, but like Frank had Ken Walker at his peak and then traded him to Brian and then had A-Chain at his peak. So good moves. Frank, great, great. Some would say comeback owner of the year, although the comeback award is not for sucking. There has to be an alternate thing. And I'm just saying that because I heard this on the radio the other day of somebody mentioning somebody was meant they were talking about Sam Darnold potentially winning comeback player of the year. However, he wasn't hurt last year. He just sucked, which doesn't qualify you for the award. Therefore, he couldn't have won it. But great job, Frank, until you faced me again, and then you lost, and then the season was over. So I
Oh
know
and
that kills
3.
you inside. 0
and
and
3 against
3. Some
Chris.
would say 0 and 4 if you include Juan Soto signing with the Mets, but that's hearsay.
But who
So
like Fada
yeah,
said, who cares about Juan
who
Soto?
cares
Who
about
care
Juan Soto?
who
That's right.
who cares?
Who cares? That's right. That's right. Who
uh,
cares about Juan Soto?
and then the other people did not make the playoffs, Matt, and Josh, man, but although Josh did score a good amount of points, just not enough to make it in the playoffs. So yeah, those are the non-playoff participants. And I guess we can get into the playoff bracket. Now, let me pull this up real quick here. Now you have a bye, as
Yes,
does
sir.
Derek. Is there any concern about rest versus rust?
No, projected 129.9 right now for this week. So pretty confident here. I'm got Tom versus Jagger. I think outside of Derek and my team, Adam's probably the team I wouldn't want to play. So keeping him on that other side of the bracket is good for me.
So the one
Although
seed is
Tom and Jagger,
huge.
Tom and Jagger have two good teams. Tom, I mean, no Brees Hall. It could
Is
be
Brees
tough.
Hall
I mean,
playing? Is he playing?
it says his knee's getting worse.
It's getting
So
worse.
I mean, I'm not. I'm like literally not making this up. I was reading today that like his knees not getting better, and like it's towards the end of the season. Um, so I think like really him being on the team versus not is going to be the difference whether Tom wins or not.
Well, I mean,
And
he's
you look
got
at Jet,
Braylon Allen.
he stinks. The Jets stink.
How many points did he score? Like, he scored 12
12.
points last year. Not ideal. Not
Like
the Jets do
he
things.
could go off for 25 points. You just can't bank on that. So
Yes. If you look at
you
Jagger's team,
look at the
go ahead.
previous matchup. Look at that previous matchup right there.
Oof, that was a
Week
tough
four. It's
one.
week 4. It was week 4. That was a shellacking. Um,
Early. It was early.
Yeah,
Early. Now I'm seeing a lot of green check marks for Jagger. He's got the QB advantage. Yeah, I don't know if Brees Hall doesn't play, that's gonna be a
he's
tricky
cooked.
one.
He's toast.
Amon Ra, Judy, Kelsey. Yeah, I mean, it's
I
looking
mean,
bleak, but
bleak.
the projected points are right there. So
Anything can
still
happen.
it's still a coin flip. You need some of these. I mean, it's good that, well, I guess it's kind of good that he has Terry going against Jaden, because kind of like maybe you can see it blunting anything that Jaden does if he throws a
Opposite.
bunch of.
It's the opposite.
Well, no, I mean Terry McLaurin, if he scores a few touchdowns, that's more points for Terry versus Jaden because quarterbacks get less points.
Well, right. But Terry can't do anything without Jaden. Jaden can do things without Terry. So every
Yes,
touchdown that Terry scores is technically 2 points favorable to Tom. Plus, yes, the catch and the yards, whatever. But Jaden Daniels could throw to other people
yes,
and get 4 points, right? So I agree with you, yes, but I think the cover you'd rather have the quarterback when you have like inverse stack. I think you'd rather have the quarterback.
yeah. And going against the Saints in the dome, I mean the Saints have been pretty dog water this year. So that matchup looks pretty favorable for the Commanders. Go down more of this. I'm looking at Jerry Judy against the Chiefs. Chiefs
Gonna be
got one of the
tough.
better
Yeah.
defenses. You just gotta hope that Jameis is just airing the ball out. It's really where you go over there. And then Devontae Adams, Jets do have a favorable matchup against the Jaguars, but is there such a thing as a favorable matchup for the Jets? I don't really know about that. Then Najee Harris are going against the Eagles. And then looking at Jaggers, he's got, you know, Chargers, tough matchup for White, Connor, Pats, pretty good matchup. Amon Ra against the Bills. Cooper Cup at the 49ers could be tricky. It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a close one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's some difference makers. But yeah, I think if Brees Hall plays, obviously much better chance. With if not, we're going to take a lot to overcome the other side here. So
I would agree with that. I think that, I also want to say I'm gonna give Jagger some kudos because I feel like Jagger's been one of the more consistently good teams and franchises in this league. I think yeah, I said in the group chat it's been like 4 out of 6 times, but it may be more than that. I think he like changed his team or something.
I think this is
Uh
our seventh year, right?
yeah, but he was like missing a year or something. But I'm pretty sure he was in the league from the jump.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, he's been pretty consistent. Shout out to Jagger. And then I think this is Tom's third straight playoffs. So also
Is it?
trying. That's what I. Oh no, third, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 4.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's great.
So that is good. And I don't think. Well, actually, we will have. Well, unless Brian wins, we'll have a new name on the trophy. So let's get into that matchup versus Adam. Uh, this is looking a little lopsided.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at the guys. Brian's going to need a big week from T. Higgins and Joe Burrow again, and hope that Josh Allen doesn't go off. But um, they're playing the Lions, which should be a shootout. So
Gonna be a tough
you
one.
got that going against you, and then you got Derrick Henry facing the Giants. So um, if you're Brian here, you're praying. You're praying that somebody out there is looking over you because you're gonna need it.
Yeah. Now Derrick Henry apparently did cut his dreads. I don't know if that was confirmed or not,
They're saying
but
they're saying is he lighter. They're saying now he's lighter, so he could run a little quicker.
well, I think that kind of he loses his edge there. I don't know if I like that heading into the playoffs. I've never. What he cut off his whole like ponytail dreadlock thing? No way. I'll have to look into that one. Um, but
Can I
yeah, I
snag the
mean,
can I snag the screen for a second here? I just want to share
yeah,
something that
yeah,
I think
yeah.
is
Go for it.
pertinent to the conversation. Let me know when you can see that. See that?
The
Can you
following
see that?
preview has yes. What are we putting on here? You make a short film? Oh, do not watch it on the YouTube.
I didn't know that this was dropping, so I figured, everybody would want to see this. I know Brian at work, you'd want to see this.
Oh, this is the PR release. Wow. Oh, they like did some photoshopping. Wow, good job, guys.
Figured,
Can't wait
figured you
to watch
got
that one.
figured you guys would enjoy that one.
Wani baseball. We should do a fantasy baseball league. Uh yeah, so going back, I mean, it's gonna be tough sledding for Brian, but you never know what can happen. Maybe the Ravens just go up like a tremendous amount and Derrick Henry only gets like 2 touchdowns instead of like four against the Giants. And yeah, the Josh Allen one, that's gonna be tricky because like that game might be like 55-48 or
Yeah,
something.
that's gonna be tough.
It's going to be tricky. Shout out to Adam also for, two back-to-back years. He's had really solid teams. Now, Adam has been using AI or he's been using that drafter at drafts, I think the last 2 years. So the rules committee may need to look into that one. We may need to adjust that.
Yeah, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at that.
We're gonna
Some
look
would
at
say
it.
that's a form of PEDs, but that's under
Uh,
review
Houston
amongst the
Astros.
board of directors. That is currently sitting at the table of the board of directors. So we're gonna figure that one out.
We are gonna look at that one.
3 o'clock tomorrow. Introductory press conference one. So
I'll be tuning in. That's kind of quick. I thought they were gonna like do it after the winter meetings, but um,
the meetings are over tonight.
oh, are they?
Yeah.
All right. So, I think that, based on this, got to buy two buys here. I do agree with you that I wouldn't want to face Adam's team with the Derrick Henry and Josh Allen combo. Now, let's say that Adam, the heavy favorite here, does win. We're gearing up for another rematch of the Pope Winnies in the semifinals. They played each other in the semifinals last year when I believe Derek finished in first last year as well. And then Adam beat him, make it to the championship against Corey. So that would be back-to-back years, and you can't let Adam beat you twice in a row, is what I'll
Can't.
say.
Can't.
You're not. And then Tom versus Jagger, again, more of a coin flip. We'll see what Brees Hall does. And then, I think you got a good pathway to the championship. Maybe now, as I mentioned, 6 out of 7 playoff appearances for you. I think at this point you have the best record in league history, but gotta get the monkey off your back.
Got it.
Gotta. It's. I don't think there's a President's Trophy for our league, so there's no regular season championship. You need to get there, and you need to win it all.
Got it. Got it. No exception otherwise.
All right. Any final thoughts?
Um, yeah, the most points, most points. You know,
Oh yes.
something you mentioned about talking through. We've talked about this. It's like beating dead horse here, but my view is you look at the playoffs. All it takes is one bad week and your team's toast after being great for 14 weeks and you get nothing. So, um, yeah, I mean, you look at Derek. He voted against that this year, and he would have won it. So
So
it's
then
really
why
just
so why
like
was Derek saying, "Oh, glad we voted against first place" or something?
because Derek's trying to be, like, oh, I
Trying
don't
to
need it. I'm going to win anyway.
He's
Like,
trying to form a
you don't.
narrative.
Right, 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 right.
But yeah,
But
it was always the most points. So
right, right, right.
he misled me to think that it was first place.
No, no, no. So originally we had first place and we had most points because of the difference which occurred this year. I agree that technically there is some form of luck with the records, right? So you get rid of that. But like most points just to get their money back is worth something, right?
Yes.
Like otherwise it's just all pure luck. And there's just nothing you could do about it. What if Lamar snaps his leg against the Giants this week on my bye and then I'm screwed, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it to me, it could happen. And like that
That
is
would
the
be your
luck that
that would be your
everybody
luck,
has,
right?
right? But why not just, you know, have a little bit of the pot go to whoever has done the best over 14 weeks versus who's done the best 3 weeks in a row. That's
Wet the
my
beak a little bit. In my
that's
other
my
league,
vote.
we award out money each week for most points, which I don't know if I love that to be honest, because it kind of takes away from the pot.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know. I
Mickey.
mean,
It's Mickey. It's
yeah,
Mickey.
it's a little bit Mickey there. I think that I don't know if I voted against most points. I just like having a big pot. I feel like that is why I probably voted against it. But I don't know. Next year we'll if we would have just invested the pot in either Nvidia or Bitcoin, the pot would have been like close to 5 Gs at this point. I think we gotta clean that up for the rules committee. Now, if you invested in Bitcoin, I don't think there's any taxes on that, right?
But why there's tax on it. But why do you not want you want a bigger pot,
Yes.
but
So
like
it's like a form of gambling in itself. It's like gamblingception because you're like gambling on fantasy, but you're also gambling with the pot of money that it increases over time.
in terms of Bitcoin, yeah. I'm saying you're saying you don't want to award more point most points money because you want a
Oh
bigger
no, no,
pot.
sort of. I think I voted against it. I think that was the reason why. Because even if like you just get your money back, which like I guess it's cool, but I don't
No,
know.
no, no, but you're missing the point. The point is the pot is the same no matter what,
Yes, yes,
right?
I understand
It's
that.
just instead of finishing first, second, and third in the playoffs, there's one other thing that everybody can also win,
Yes,
right? That is the
yes.
principle. It's not like we're saying, oh, 50% of the money is going to the first place winner, right? Like it's 1/12 of the cash going to somebody who did the best over the time frame.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that part. I mean, it's just like that other 250, or I guess it's like 350 at this point, 300. Keeping that in the pot makes it a little bit higher, but yeah, we'll vote on it again next year. Um, well, you need to do more of a rules committee sort of situation.
But the pot is still the same.
Yeah, yeah,
You want the championship pot to be larger.
yes, yes. That's kind of exactly. I want like whoever wins first place, I want them to get like at least 65% of the pot, which I think it's at 65% this year.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
I think most points should get something over a third place team. Why does the
I sort
third
of agree
place
with
team
that.
get any
Yeah,
money?
I
Like
sort of
you
agree with
lost the
that.
big game.
Yeah,
Like,
like yeah, we don't give third place prizes out. What's that about? I mean, I get money back is fine, but like,
right. But I'm saying if the money needs to come from somewhere, I would just get rid of third place and put it at most points.
true, true. Well, I think this year, well, next year is going to be regular fantasy season, but the year after that is going to be World Cup, and we have to decide what we're doing for. We'll try to do this every 4 years. If we do a special season, and either we double the pot, we double the buy-in, or we add some interesting little rules, or maybe like a custom trophy or
Good.
custom draft location. We can do some cool things there. I don't know if everyone's gonna be really willing to double the pot because then at that point it's gonna be like 700 bucks. But I mean, that is a fat payout. That's like what, eighty five hundred dollars or
We should
something?
just do a guillotine league.
What's that? Oh, they get cut if you finish last.
But we should do it like because we have 12 teams, we just do like the first 5 weeks everybody plays. Then after then at like going into week 6, whoever has the lowest points collectively is out, right?
Oh, you do it in season.
The guillotine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so there's two
I thought it was at
different
the end of the
ways.
year.
No, there's two different ways to do it that you could do. So you basically can do like lowest points of every week gets cut, or you can do it cumulative points each week gets cut. Right. So, like, my opinion would be you do it as first 5 weeks, everybody's there. Week 6, whoever has the cumulative most, like, least points gets cut, right? Their players go into the free agent pool. Everybody can bid on them, pick them up.
That's so ass.
Then the next week, who's ever last gets cut, their players go in. So by the end of week 17, right? Like, where the cumulative points come in is like, okay, you look at Derek, he has 600 more points than you, right? But like, think of all the good players that could be added that you could pick up. So it's like, when do you spend on your fantasy budget or not? Right.
Yeah,
And
but
it's
then
like,
who do you play at the end of the year if every team's cut?
no, it's just who's ever the last man standing.
Oh, so it's just like a King of the
So
Hill kind
each
of
week
situation.
you
Yeah,
get rid
King of
of
the Hill.
one person, and then like week 17 basically is every player is available for free agency, but there's still a budget, right? Like, you still want to have a budget.
But are the players still playing though? Like if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
cut, so
If
then
you get cut, like you would get
okay,
cut week
okay.
6, all of your players would go into the free agency pool and they'd go
Gotcha,
on
gotcha.
waivers and we'd bid on them, right?
Yeah.
Some guys might still be on waivers, guys might get picked up. Then the next week, Matt Hanley is last, hypothetically. His team gets cut. His players go into the waiver wire pool and people bid on him again.
But then he can pick up his players,
No, he's
presumably.
done. He's out. You're out. When you're out, you're
Oh,
done.
okay. That's what I was trying to figure out.
No. Sorry. No, when you are out, you're out. You're just
Oh,
done.
okay. So you're done.
So it's survival of the fittest until the
And
end.
then does ESPN allow for this? Like, I don't even know how that would
There's,
work.
I think you could do it on Sleeper. You could do it
You'd have
on
to
a bunch
change
of
like the
different sites.
schedules and stuff. It would be
Yeah,
like
yeah. I mean,
weird.
maybe this is something we do like in conjunction with our
Yeah,
normal league,
it would have to be like a sort of
like
a
the
side
World
league
Cup. It's
situation.
like yeah,
Yeah,
you
we'll
know,
have to figure out like a something special for the World Cup here.
yeah. We'll figure that
A
out.
lot of cool rules we can apply. But all right. Anything else before we wrap up?
I think that's it. I pinged the chat about the tiers. We need Devin to get on the tiers.
We do need
So
him to
let's
get
see.
on the tiers.
No. He's saying, yeah.
What is he saying? No, he's running it. He's running it. Oh, 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 he's saying, well, he got a new computer, but I don't know what he means by model. Isn't it just like some software thing that he like uses?
I have no idea.
We need the tiers. All right, Devin, get us the tiers. We'll be back maybe next week, chat through the semifinals
Sir, we're gonna be doing a weekly podcast to the end.
till
It's
the
3 weeks
end. So
left.
that's
So
three.
we can
I
do
think
it.
we can do that. I think we should be able to swing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So please submit any questions, topics, things to talk about. We'll be happy to discuss those.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.